You would know that Angel Reese has just been suspended for the entire season and fined over $1.2 million for what she just did, as she was caught saying the Z word on live TV.
Caitlin Clark, she will be missing Friday's game due to her continued groin injury, and Angel Reese has been suspended for Friday's game after getting assessed a technical foul Wednesday night for pimp slapping Aaliyah Edwards.
Angel Reese's season has completely flipped upside down. She's officially suspended for the entire year and slapped with a $1, $2 million fine after dropping the Z word live on national TV. As if that wasn't enough, Caitlin Clark is also sidelined, missing Friday's game with her lingering groin injury.
Reese receives her 8th tech, which will prohibit her from playing against the Indiana Fever. And 2, she's in some pretty hot water with her teammates about that Chicago Tribune article.
So instead of getting the headline matchup of Caitlin versus Angel, fans are staring at an empty stage. The timing is brutal for Angel. She stirred controversy by torching her teammates in a Chicago Tribune article.
The Engelbert tried to rig the cards in the WNBA's favor by having the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky go head-to-head 5 times this season. Unfortunately for Kathy Engelbert, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will only be going head-to-head 1 of those 5 times, and that time has come.
Then tried to walk it back once the backlash burned too hot. Now she's out of action, and her team has to face the Fever without her. This isn't just a suspension. It's the latest twist in a rookie campaign spiraling out of control. Was this immaturity? Or is Angel already buckling under the weight of her own words? She picked up her 8th technical foul of the season, which automatically benches her for the Indiana game.
How did that happen? How did we get here? What she just said, the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this.
Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. She would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the texts are warranted. They are all warranted.
8th. That's not tough basketball. That's reckless chaos. Kathy Engelbert thought she had struck marketing gold by hyping the Caitlin versus Angel rivalry across 5 games this season. 5 meetings between Indiana and Chicago were supposed to be the backbone of rivalry week. The league plastered promos everywhere, like it was a pay-per-view heavyweight fight. But the script collapsed.
Damn, she packed her up, bro. She low-key packed her up. It was so sly. Oh, shoot. Dang, Angel. Man, this is horrible timing if she get this 8th technical. I think they're going to give her a technical. Getting suspended for a game after what she said about her team basically being trash, needing new players, man. Yeah, that's a tech. Dang. So she's going to be suspended. This is all just bad timing, bro. Bad timing. Sheesh.
In her head. That's right. Angel Reese didn't use the front of her hand. Angel Reese went with the back of her hand and bow right across Aaliyah Edwards' head. I will let.
Out of those 5 matchups, Clark and Reese squared off only once. 1. Clark's groin injury kept her sidelined, and Angel's suspensions piled up like parking tickets. Engelbert promised Titanic-level box office. Instead, fans got Titanic 2, still sinking. Angel's antics hit a new low when she pimp-slapped Aaliyah Edwards. And this wasn't your run-of-the-mill foul. Angel went with the backhand.
To tell you, when I picked my phone up and I looked at all of these damn alerts, I say, hold up, wait a minute. It is looking spooky. Angel Reese got suspended. Angel Reese threw her team under the bus. When the hell did this?
The most disrespectful move possible, like she was in Mortal Kombat. That's not a contest for rebounding position. That's centuries of attitude condensed into a flick of the wrist. Aaliyah sold it like a soap opera pro, collapsing as if Zeus himself had struck her down.
Her entire team feels attacked by her from comments that she made in the Chicago Tribune article. This is what Front Office Sports is reporting. According to the report, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Banham or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading a playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky's roster with WNBA championship experience.
Oscar-worthy acting, but the contact was real enough to justify Angel's 8th tech. Suspension delivered. But the slap was just one chapter in Angel's ongoing drama. She's been blasting her teammates in the media, calling Rachel Banham unfit to lead, dismissing Hailey Van Lith as not ready for the league, and essentially declaring the whole roster trash. Keep in mind, this is a 9:30 Chicago Sky team. They're drowning at the bottom of the standings, and yet Angel is strutting around like she's above it all.
Baby, one thing Angel Reese knows how to do is get the internet going. For those that don't know, an article was released today by the Chicago Tribune featuring Angel Reese, and she was basically just talking about the state of the Chicago Sky, her hopes in the offseason, and basically just putting pressure on the front office in regards to building a championship team around her.
But maybe the funniest part. It's like the fry cook at Burger King demanding a Michelin star because he remembered to salt the fries. The locker room has been boiling. 2 days after her public criticism, Angel pulled the classic backpedal. Suddenly, her words were taken out of context. Suddenly, she didn't mean it that way. Apologies were whispered in private. She loves her teammates, she insists. But everyone knows what was said, and once it's out there, you can't unring the bell. Ariel Atkins stepped into the role of Angel's defense attorney, delivering a speech about how the crown is heavy, and Angel's just a young player under pressure. But half the locker room isn't buying it. They're sitting there thinking, she literally said my name. That's not misunderstood, that's targeted. The fallout has been ugly. Executives across the league are whispering the truth. On a real championship roster, Angel wouldn't even be the #1 option. She'd be a 3rd or 4th piece, valuable but not the centerpiece. Yet she's acting like the franchise savior, demanding reinforcements while dragging her current teammates under the bus. Chicago gave her the keys, and she's crashed the car, blamed the tires, the mechanic, even the road itself. The front office now has to clean up the mess, holding awkward team meetings that feel more like HR interventions than bonding sessions. Imagine folding chairs in a circle, athletes staring at the floor while a rep asks, "How did it make you feel when Angel called you washed?" Hailey Van Lith, who came into the league marketed as a Disney princess with a jump shot, now has to accept that her own teammate publicly declared her unfit. Rachel Banham, already the butt of WNBA Twitter, had to hear her name specifically dragged. This wasn't constructive criticism, it was targeted shade disguised as honesty. The Chicago Sky aren't just losing games, they're losing trust, and Caitlin Clark, ironically, is just sitting at home healing, sipping tea while watching this soap opera unfold. What was supposed to be basketball's Ali versus Frazier rivalry has turned into a blooper reel. Instead of a legendary duel, fans are watching suspensions, injuries, insults, and locker room chaos dominate the headlines. The Sky don't need a rebuild, they need a reality show contract. And Angel Reese? Whether she's slapping opponents or slapping teammates with her words, she's keeping the league buzzing, but not for the reasons the WNBA imagined. The fallout from Angel Reese's suspension hasn't just impacted her season, it's exposed the WNBA's marketing gamble. Kathy Engelbert rolled the dice on Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese as the rivalry to save women's basketball. But instead of Ali versus Frazier, it's turned into a sitcom with injuries, suspensions, and endless drama. Angel herself is fueling the chaos. The slap on Aaliyah Edwards will live in infamy. It wasn't a subtle foul, it was geometry. The arc of Angel's arm was so precise, it looked like she was sketching circles with a compass. Slow the tape down, and you see the torque, the follow-through, the deliberate motion. That wasn't an accident. And Aaliyah, credit where it's due, sold it like a pro. She clutched her head, dropped like she'd been struck by a thunderbolt, and gave the refs no choice. Angel's 8th technical was inevitable. Suspension locked in, but the real explosion came from her words, not her hands. When you publicly say Rachel Banham and Hailey Van Lith aren't playoff material, you don't just create a rift, you blow up the foundation of trust. The Chicago Tribune article ripped the Sky apart internally. Executives say Angel wouldn't even be a top option on a contender, yet she's demanding roster upgrades, like she's carrying the league on her shoulders. That disconnect between perception and reality has poisoned the locker room. Ariel Atkins' "crown is heavy" speech tried to smooth things over, but the damage was done. You can't disguise targeted shade as leadership. You can't demand greatness while sinking with a 9-30 record. The irony is thick enough to spread on toast. Angel wants better teammates, but her behavior is shrinking the pool of players willing to join her. Who signs up for a locker room where your own teammate might roast you in the media? That's not leadership. It's a reality show audition. The front office thought drafting Angel was a slam dunk for ticket sales and hype. Instead, they've got the Bravo version of basketball. Subtweets in press conferences, veterans side-eyeing rookies, and coaches aging a decade every loss. Rookie head coach Tyler Marsh probably thought he'd get to build culture and schemes. Instead, he's presiding over group therapy sessions while his authority gets questioned in public. The Chicago Sky aren't a team. They're a soap opera with a shot clock. Angel's apology tour only added fuel. She claimed her words were misconstrued, spinning like a politician caught on tape. But fans, teammates, and reporters all saw the receipts. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate, pointed criticism disguised as honesty. It's the classic PR pivot. Say something fiery, walk it back, and hope the storm passes. But storms don't pass when your team is 9-30. They hang over the franchise like a cloud. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is healing quietly. The supposed rival sits out with a groin injury, while Angel clowns her way into suspensions. The WNBA wanted fireworks. Instead, it got one real matchup and a pile of bloopers. This was never a rivalry. It's a blooper reel with a marketing budget. Angel's crown metaphor is the funniest part. She compares herself to royalty while playing the role of the jester. Every week, there's a new headline. Slaps, suspensions, insults. And every week, Chicago loses again. She's the most talked about rookie, but not for her game, for her chaos. That's a dangerous reputation. Because eventually, fans might still watch, but players won't want to play beside her. She risks becoming the WNBA's version of a one-woman circus. Entertaining, unpredictable, but not someone you build a franchise around. Online chatter has been relentless. Clips of the slap circulate, edits of her interviews trend, and every move gets magnified. The league wanted her buzz, but not like this. At some point, buzz turns toxic. At some point, being the headline for the wrong reasons starts costing credibility. And yet, here's the truth. Angel Reese will keep people talking. Whether it's a slap on the court, an insult in the locker room, or a PR spin in the press, she's the WNBA's chaos engine. But chaos doesn't win championships. It sells drama, not banners. Until she stops swinging at opponents and starts addressing her own flaws, this story won't fade. It'll get louder, messier, and funnier week by week. The crown she talks about isn't heavy, it's hollow. And if she keeps this up, her legacy won't be as the queen of a rivalry, but as the star of a never-ending soap opera with no happy ending.
Pressed into action as if I wasn't already. The NFL returns tonight. Praise baby Jesus. But I'm out of it for a few hours. And I get online this morning and I find out that Angel Reese has for lack of a better way of putting it, shit all over her teammates. Or as some people might call it, drown her teammates. And her teammates are none too happy, nor should they be.